Well, news that we heard last week, that spilled out when the Knicks had an interest in Billy Donovan. One of the things that came out was that the Bulls and Billy Donovan, or many around the NBA, were expecting Billy Donovan to sign a contract extension. Well, according to Marc Stein, not only is that happening, but they're working out the details right now. We're going to talk about all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it, man. So, according to Marc Stein, the Chicago Bulls and Billy Donovan are working out and finalizing a contract extension that will keep Billy Donovan in the city of Chicago, coaching for the Chicago Bulls. This should really not be a surprise to anyone. If the Bulls had any plans on moving on from Billy Donovan, when the New York Knicks came calling, asking if Billy Donovan was available as to be their head coach and asking for permission to interview him, if there was any chance of that happening remotely, they would have taken that opportunity to allow him to at least to interview. Once that happened, everybody should have known, especially with this being the last year on Billy Donovan's contract, that if you're not even allowing him to interview when you could have a chance to move off of him and get some capital back and trade him or something like that, once you decide not to do that, that all intents are you've shown your hands at that point. We all now know that you're planning on keeping Billy Donovan. So, I get it that this is going to be upsetting for some Bulls fans. Even though I'm not the biggest Billy Donovan guy at all by any stretch of the imagination, I want to be clear there. But it is the fact that this is just the reality of what's happening. Billy Donovan's going to be here, and that just is what it is. And so, it is what it is. New contract extensions coming down for Billy Donovan. I'd be interested to see if they actually announce the details of the contract. Keep in mind, the contract extension that he's currently on, the Bulls still never officially announced that contract extension. The only reason we even know that contract extension happened at the time was because he didn't stop coaching here, and then we found out eventually what the length of the deal was because of the John Calipari news. So it is what it is when it comes down to it, man. Billy Donovan is going to be here. He's going to be the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. You might as well just go ahead and get used to that. And that's just what it's going to be, man. It sucks. Like, I want to be clear here. It sucks. And not to say that it sucks because, like, Billy Donovan is not the worst coach in the world. I want to be clear there. He's not the worst coach in the world. He's not as bad as some people make it seem for Billy Donovan as far as the head coach. But the fact of the matter is that it's just the fact that you're getting rewarded for being mediocre. And that's what the Bulls are doing here with Billy Donovan. He's not the worst coach in the NBA. But the fact that the Bulls have won absolutely nothing with Billy Donovan other than one playoff game in his time here and a couple of playing games that haven't really made it far other than that, and that's what gets rewarded. Like, that's where this is really stemming from. It's like, how do you continue to reward mediocrity? And that's where the Bulls have put themselves in now, is that they continue to reward mediocrity, and then, maybe Billy Donovan can. Maybe this coaching staff is the right mix of coaching staff that's going to get him somewhere that we're going to be able to move forward, that we're going to be able to get that playoff series win or whatever it is. Maybe it is. Maybe we're going to have the right mix of roster, coaching staff, not just Billy Donovan, but with Wes Unseld being here, with Dan Craig being here. And then maybe we go forward and we actually make some noise at some point in time. I tell you what, I don't have a lot of faith in that. I don't have a lot of confidence that that's going to be the case. I'm not overly excited about that. But, that's what it is. And do not be surprised if this is the last that we hear of it and Billy Donovan is just here coaching going forward and we never hear the extent of the deal. We don't get the years announced. I would not be surprised if that's not the case, that we don't get anything. So instead of trading him for a second-round pick to the New York, the front office is giving him an extension to a guy who won one playoff game in 8 years. Well, he hasn't been here for 8 years, but I get what you're getting at. Isn't he still mid into his last extension, just got a year and a half? No, he got this. So this is the third year of the extension, and this is the last. We knew that this upcoming season is the last year of the deal. So yeah, we knew that was going to be. We knew that. Casey Johnson announced that last offseason when the Kentucky job opened up. So we knew that he had 2 more years on his deal. Then the first one was last season, and now next season is the last year on this current extension. So Lord know why. Why send him packing? It is what it is there, man. Jesus Christ, what is this Bulls organization thinking? The Knicks want Donovan. Let them have him. Not surprised by this, but come on, son. It's not even the fact that you're not like. It's the fact that you're going to go ahead and extend him. You know, it is what it is. Well, Haize, my guy, we don't have to argue about CMB tonight. I'm sure we agree this is legit insanity. Hey, listen, no notes there. Completely unrelated, but do you like Leonard Miller as a potential trade piece for the Wolves? He gives them similar vibes to CMB, who people want us to waste a 12 pick on him. I'm more interested in trying to get Nickeil Alexander-Walker here. That's just my personal opinion. So this is proof AK isn't doing anything this offseason, and we should probably expect another play-in exit. Well, I told y'all before, this is going to be probably a straightforward offseason, meaning they're going to draft their pick. They may trade Nikola Vucevic, maybe Lonzo Ball, but don't expect any type of big swings. I've said that before. Now, with some rumors and stuff out there, it may look like maybe they had more of an openness to do something, but that's always a what if. And those rumors are always, like, for all we know, those talks could happen and the Bulls could have shut them down. So, you know, it doesn't mean that anything's going to happen there. He's not the worst coach, but at the same time, when you see no progress every single year and you're actually seeing the same exact bullshit, oh, there's a problem. Facts. Like, and I don't disagree with that aspect of it. I want to be clear. I don't disagree with that aspect of things at all. Melvin says, I'm about to crash the F out. If this happens, we never learned from the first time, and nothing was still proven despite the stretch we had. Listen, it is what it is, man. It's all about the lack of adjustments at times in games compared to the top elite coaches and how often those decisions, if made, succeed or fail. No, listen, I'm not going to argue with y'all on that at all. My only point is Billy Donovan isn't an absolute terrible head coach. That doesn't mean he's the right head coach. That doesn't mean that he's a great head coach because I say he's not horrible. Hell, it doesn't even mean he's a good head coach. It means he's serviceable. I think Billy Donovan is a perfectly serviceable coach. But it's like, how long are you going to sit? Like, Vinny Del Negro was a perfectly serviceable coach. He lasted 2 years here before they realized, okay, the roster's in a place where we need a better coach. You feel me there? Like Doug Collins was an above average coach. I wouldn't say that Doug Collins was an amazing coach while he was here, but even through his 2 stints, he only lasted so much. Like this front office and their attachment to the mid, that's what's concerning here. That's what's concerning here. It's the attachment to the mid. You ain't got to say somebody doesn't have to be a completely terrible head coach for them not to be right for your team or for it to mean that you don't have to hold on to them, right? You can be a okay head coach and still get sent packing. Hell, we seen Taylor Jenkins with his 600 win percentage get sent packing because they didn't settle for mediocrity. And it wasn't even a mediocrity. They had one of the better records in the NBA over his time being there. The Bulls are settling for mediocrity. That just is what it is. That's the reality of it. They're settling for mediocrity. I feel Billy is decent, but never can get you over the hump. I want to be wrong, but history shows different. Completely agree with you there, Robert. No notes. Completely agree with you there. The only guy who gets fired who actually produced for this team, typical. That's why free agents don't want to come here. Well, I mean, free agents haven't wanted to come here when Derrick Rose is the MVP, so I don't know if that necessarily changes it either, but I feel where you're coming from. Billy's being rewarded for doing what Jerry wants, keeping the stadium filled and making. But that's the thing. The stadium's going to be filled regardless. Like real talk. Trey, they can hire you as the head coach. The United Center is still going to sell out. So when I get why people say that, right? Make no mistake about it. I get why people say that. But the Bulls have proven that no matter what happens, we're going to sell out. The tickets are going to be sold, my boy. Jim Boylan was here. The tickets got sold. Vinny Del Negro was here. The tickets got sold. Tim Floyd was here. The tickets got sold. Throughout, all in all, the Bulls are always going to sell tickets because guess why? We got one of the most loyal fan bases. So I get that logic, and I'm not saying this is not me coming at you, but it's if that's the logic that Jerry Reinsdorf has, wake the fuck up. You're going to sell the tickets regardless. The tickets are going to get sold, my boy. The tickets are going to get sold. Reinsdorf is going to Reinsdorf. AK is going to AK. Here's to another season of boycotting the games, only watching Bulls Central and Shy Bulls Pocket. Well, shout out to you. We got you held down on that one. We got you held down on that one. LOL, it could have been us giving out 4 first-round picks for Bane, but thankfully it was. Here's the thing. For where they gave out 4 first-round picks. None of them, one could be a lottery pick, but that's it. For a team that has amazing defense, that added a player that's a 20-point per game scorer and a 41% three. Like, I get it that when you hear the 4 first-round picks, but keep in mind, 3 of those picks at least. I guess 2, because one is already 16. We'll see what happens next year. 2 of those picks at least are going to be in the 20s. They're going to be in the 20s. So if you tell me that if you're already a championship caliber, a close to Eastern Conference Finalist team when fully healthy, if you tell me that, all right, you can add a 20-point per game score and a 41% three-point shooter, 2 things that you need on your team, and all you got to do is give up a 16th overall pick, a possible lottery pick, which may not even be that great of a lottery pick because, again, the Phoenix Suns are in the Western Conference. They're going to be a lot worse teams in the East. And a 22 and 25 overall pick, more than not, teams are going to do that. Teams are going to do that more times than not. Man, Donovan might actually get that 10-year extension. I mean, he's definitely going to be here 10 years at this point, right? Like, just saying. Mediocrity seems to be the floor with Billy. There's a chance that they can make a run, but to get to the finals is less likely with him. So maybe the next chopping block date is if somehow a miracle happens. I do think, here's the thing, I 100%, and maybe this is me having too much faith, I can admit it, but I really do think that if once the Bulls actually become a regular playoff team, and let's say we get eliminated from the first round 2 years, then we make it to the second round and we get eliminated. I think at that point they'll fire Billy Donovan, because at that point you got to look at it and be like, all right, we're good enough, but we need better coaching. That's even still being hopeful, right? I want to be clear. There's still no guarantee that that's going to happen. Imagine all the bad coaches. Don't forget Fred Hoiberg. Fred Hoiberg, the ticket's still sold. The ticket's still sold. So, like, I get what you're saying, Robert, completely. But the ticket's still sold there, too. The tickets is going to sell, man. It is what it is. The tickets is going to sell. Haize, I don't know what sucks even more, having cerebral palsy or Chicago teams just being mediocre. That is wild, my boy. That's crazy, actually. That's bananas. That's crazy. But all right, y'all, I'm going to get ready to wrap it up, man. I just wanted to bring y'all the news. I know I'm like an hour late on it, man. Pray for me. Pray for my family. Love y'all. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls Central Pod. Send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. See y'all on the next one. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.